he's a force of nature, let me tell you. He's the host of the podcast, The Ed Halbach Show, and he's been doing this for 2 years. Ed, I am so glad you're here. I want to promote your show while you're on here, but I also want my boomer buddies to see our latest boomer buddy, Ed Halbach. Welcome, Ed.
Hey, thanks, Rick. It's a pleasure, a privilege, and an honor.
Ooh, an honor. That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
Yeah, so
absolutely.
today what I want to do is I want to get them to know you a little bit, where you're living and a little
Do I have to
background
tell the
about
truth?
you as much as you can, and then we'll
Okay.
we'll go from there. We'll talk about some sayings and their origins and their meanings because we both like the English language. Go ahead, Ed.
The DocuSign document to sign off on this has not shown up yet in my email, and I sent it to my attorney, and he said, "Don't sign it with your microphone live.
You're going to get
We'll,
millions of
we'll live in a
dollars. They're
fairy
saying,
tale
right?
land. It's like
Yeah.
fairy tale land. It's like listening to what was that song by the Moody Blues, Nights in White Satin in high school, and trying to find a pretty girl to dance with.
Oh yeah. You just hit on one of my favorite bands, Ed, right there. We can talk about
They,
them another time, but they're awesome. But let's hear about Ed. What's your story, Ed?
well, Ed is a talker. So obviously, I have a podcast. I'm 6 footish, 3-ish, 4-ish, weighing in at fighting weight at 235. I met Rick Reed last year in Lanesboro, Minnesota. Those guys were trashed on their butts. His cousins, his in-laws. No, wait, no, that was a different group of people. Anyway, with my the meekness I have in my personality, I walked around to your group with my life in my hands and business cards in the other hand, and I said, "Hey, anybody listen to podcasts? Here, I'm a podcaster, you know." And Rick says, "We got to talk." So we talked for an
True.
hour and a
That
half.
is true.
Well,
That's
of
true.
course, I'm telling the truth. And then the next day we talked again, and they booked for next year, and we booked for next year. So, but in the meantime,
Yeah.
I convinced Rick Reed to buy me coffee once, and he will buy me coffee again when I get in his neck of the woods. As I am a salesman, and okay, what else you want to know? I have no hair, as you can see.
Well, you save on shampoo costs. And if you're listening, Ed he's larger than life. And when I talk to him in person, we have to sit down because if I'm standing up, my neck gets sore from looking up because
Well, the
I'm 5'9".
chiropractor likes it because you have to go in for an adjustment.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It is covered. So, well,
Oh,
Ed, glad you are here. Let's talk about us being boomers.
we grew
Some of
up in the
the,
best times, the fastest cars, the best music, the hottest girls. I mean, what else could you ask for?
I won't argue with that. And we come from people, our parents, the greatest generation.
That's
They
right.
went through
Yeah.
hardships and they wanted nothing but for us to have it better than they did. And we're thankful to them. I know some of the generations that have followed us, they got names for us, Ed. Let me throw a few at you, what they call
All
us. They
right.
call us retiree ranters, golden agers, pensioners, cantankerous curmudgeons. I kind of like that one.
Well,
Old
it rolls off your tongue well.
old codgers and old coots. Well, maybe they're just jealous. But
I can't identify with any of that. Number one, I'm not a pension guy. Number two, what was one of the other things? Now I can't remember. I am old,
tradition.
so I can't. My memory, short-term memory, is working wonderful.
You are a traditionalist, right? You like
Yeah,
traditional.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we can't argue about that. You can't be a retiree ranter because you're still an active salesperson.
I am. Probably
Um,
will till they put me out the pasture.
yeah, we are in the autumn of our lives, so we kind of are golden agers. I don't find anything bad about that.
You are so classy, Rick. Autumn of our lives. You know what I tell people?
What do
I
you
was
tell
talking to some kids at church, you know, teenagers, and trying to influence them a little bit. And they go, why do you do a podcast? I go, I'm in the fourth quarter with no timeouts. I
people?
got to get this shit done.
I love that. It's true. It's
Well,
true.
it is.
And we're also at the age now. I tell my adult sons, I say, you know what? I have so much experience now in life, and Ed, you can relate to this. It's like we can see around corners. We
Oh,
know what's going to happen. We know what's happening without even looking. So, I, no doubt, we
yeah,
can see around corners.
yeah. We have learned a lot from experience. We have learned a lot from um, other people. And if you listen to other people instead of always thinking you're right, which I may have a problem with, um, you gain that experience, and you with age comes wisdom.
That's so true. Uh, for the listeners out there and viewers, Ed has a daily email he sends out to his listeners. He does not
I
sell the
do.
list. And I have to tell you that this morning I didn't get my fix for Ed's email today. He had such a great message today. He did send it out eventually, but um, do you mind if I read what you sent out today?
Not at all.
Okay. Here it is. This is from Ed Halbach. He sends it out. He doesn't sell the list. Remember that. So if you want to get on his list after hearing this, he'll tell you how. Okay. An old Cherokee chief told his grandson, my son, there is a battle between two wolves inside of us all. One is evil. It is anger, jealousy, greed, resentment, inferiority, lies, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, humanity, kindness, empathy, and truth. The boy thought about it and he asked, Grandpa, which one wins? And the chief quietly replied, the one you feed. That is
Amen.
that is so good. So yeah,
Well, it's so true as well.
yeah, absolutely. And you today, you went and spread joy. You took all four of you in a Christmas outfit and you went around and you shared your personality, your very positive personality with people. You want to talk about that?
Well, I had to drop a Christmas gift off, and last week my wife and I went to the hospital and read Christmas stories, and I thought, well, I can't pull off Santa. I may have a big belly and a white goatee, but I can't pull that off. So I ordered one of those Christmas suits, which is basically green with a whole bunch of light bulbs and snowmen on it, and so I get up to the podium in this auditorium where I was going to read these stories, and I my opening line was, when was the last time you saw anything this big and this green other than the Jolly Green Giant? So I loosened up my audience quickly, and
Yep.
I had fun. So today I wore it again on my way to the gym. I had him run a couple errands, and I get compliments and I get stares. And I get to the gym and I walk in and everybody's heads turning, and I pose for pictures with people. So then I
That's
stripped
awesome.
down and got into my workout gear and then made another loop when I left, and people just shake their head at me. And it's part of it's my personality, part of it's my voice, part of it's my size, and with a package of all three, look out, here comes Ed. Some people even look down so they don't have to look at me.
Well, again, Ed is the host of the Ed Hallback Show. And his email, if you're interested, Ed, go ahead and give it out.
It's ed at edhalbach.com. So it's ed at edhalbach.com.
And every Monday, you release a new podcast.
The Ed Halbach Show with life stories, smartass remarks, and awesome guests, because Rick Reed's been on my show.
Oh,
And
oh,
I get that out at 7 a.m. on Mondays. And every day, 365 days a year, I send out the quotes to people who want them. And it's interesting. Uh, the one for tomorrow I really like, and I targeted it to a couple guys at the gym. But out of the blue, I get people back. People email me back, and they go, "Ed, how did you know?"
hmm,
And that's all they
that's so,
may say. And I just say, "I'm glad I could help."
yep. Well,
Because,
like I told
because
you today, I had my fix neat. I had to have that fix met 8 o'clock Central Time every morning. That my phone pings telling me that you sent it out. And again, you do not sell that list, so
I do not.
Listeners,
I don't
viewers do
share it
not
with, I
believe.
don't sell it or share it. In
All
fact,
right,
I can't even remember who's on it
well, that's
because
partly
I don't
age,
know everybody.
partly age too.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay, here we go. Let's dig into some sayings. All you viewers and listeners out there, you've heard all of these before, but we just say them without really thinking about them too much. How about this, Ed? Pipe
All right.
down, pipe down. Do you know what the meaning of that is?
Yeah.
What is it in your mind?
Not so loud. Slow it down. Keep it softer, quieter. Don't be so vocal.
That's pretty
I
good.
hear that a lot.
Pipe down, Ed. And
Yeah.
when you're little, is it pipe down, Eddie? Uh,
Yeah, exactly. I'm the oldest of seven, and yet I'm the largest of us seven, but yet I was the smallest baby according to my mother.
wow. So now you're the biggest baby, if you think
Well, I'm
about
a
it.
big baby. Ask my wife.
Well, here's the meaning that I had looked up: stop talking, shut up, chill out, or settle down. So you nailed that. Do you know what the origin is for pipe down?
Got something to do with plumbers and not having their pants pulled all the way up? I don't know.
You mean the plumber's crack? I,
Yeah.
I like your version of that. Well, here's what it mean, or where it came from, I should say. At sea, it was the boatswain's call for all hands to turn in. So they blew that pipe.
Yeah.
I can't imitate it, but
I know
that
you
really
can.
high pitch. But you understand. So yeah, there you go. That's good. That was the boatswain's call for all hands to turn in. So that meant when he put that pipe down, it was time to go down for bed. All right. Let's stay on the nautical theme, Ed. Shiver me
Yeah.
timbers. What's the meaning of that? Or the
I
what
do not know. I'm going to be bluntly, boldly honest. I do not know. I'm not even going to try and BS my way through this one.
but that's kind of the whole purpose of this. We've said these or heard these, and we really don't know the full story. Shiver
Right.
me timbers meaning. It's an expression that conveys surprise, shock, or disbelief. The literal expression means to shiver or have splinter the timbers of a boat or a ship. Okay, so it's nautical. And it's also closely associated with pirate slang and nautical language, often featured in fictional pirate works, right? Like R, that's the next one. That was made popular
Oh,
by Robert Newton, who played Long John Silver in the 50s movie Treasure Island.
oh
Boomers
yeah.
out there, huh?
Arr. That's what my
R.
friends do when they get to my liquor cabinet and they drink Captain Morgan. Arr.
And that the actor had a West Country in England accent, and he used to exaggerate it. So those are three kind
Ah.
of nautical ones. How about this one? Get on a soapbox.
Oh, I
Ed,
do that all the time.
that's what you do.
That's what you do with your podcast too. We're on
Yeah.
our soapbox and we talk
Okay.
and we give our opinions and we get people to listen. And that's what getting on your soap because you're standing up a little higher,
Right.
than normal. I don't have to stand much higher. Because I can naturally look down on people. Oh, that sounded good,
That
did it?
came out wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna be shunned from some people listening.
No. If you get to know Ed, it's fun. Meaning to get up on a platform and motivate, right? Give speeches
Right.
or sales pitch to a crowd. It became a metaphor for giving spontaneous speech or on a roll about a favorite topic. In the old days, they would actually use a soap shipping box to stand on.
Of
So
course they did. That's why
you,
they call it a soapbox.
you knew that.
I knew that.
You know what I tell the kids now? I've coached these kids. I ask them, "How old do you think I am?" These little 9, 10-year-olds, and they go, "You're pretty old." And we'll take a guess, and they go, 50. So in their minds, they can't really. And I said, "I'm so old that dirt was new when I was a kid."
Oh boy.
Okay, here's another
Oh,
one, Ed.
all right.
Tomfoolery. Tomfoolery.
Well, that's nonsense.
Yeah, yeah,
Messing. Yeah, nonsense.
yeah. It was a term for a foolish person as long ago as in the Middle Ages. as Tom, Dick, and Harry are used to mean just generic guys, Tom Fool was a generic for a fool. So they'd say he's a Tom Fool. And then when they engage in foolish behavior, it was tomfoolery.
Can you believe it? I've been called that. That I've
Tom
had that
Fool?
behavior.
Yeah, I
That I've
believe it.
had that behavior.
All right, here's another one. Go bananas.
Is that kind of like go ape, go
Yeah,
crazy, have
yeah,
fun,
yep, yep,
scratch your
yep.
armpits, eat
Crazy
bananas?
behavior. And it became popular in the 50s as the same time as Go Ape. So you absolutely got a 10 out of 10 on that one. Uh,
Yeah.
here's
Even a
one,
blind hog can find an acorn once in a while.
a blind hog, huh?
Yeah.
How about read the riot act?
You're going to get schooled verbally when somebody reads you the riot act.
A stern warning. Good. Do you know what the origin is?
No.
Let me give it to you since I looked it up.
Well, thank you, Google.
The riot act was a British law in 1714. That's when you were a little kid, I think, Ed. It went
Oh,
into
thanks.
effect only when read aloud by an official. If too many people gathered looking for trouble, that is when the riot act would be read. So you've heard
Oh,
that a million times, but you had no idea.
no, you're a regular Cliff Clavin.
Well, I take that as a compliment.
Well, why wouldn't you? Why would I not compliment you on your own show?
What's your favorite Cliff Clavin moment on Cheers? I have mine in my head. It just popped up when you said that.
Boy, now you're making me think. It had something to do with the slowest buffalo in the herd, but I can't remember it now.
But he did a monologue on that, right? At the
Yeah, I think so.
bar. Well, here's my favorite Cliff Clavin moment. It was a rare time when they weren't in the bar. They're actually in an apartment, and Cliff was delivering to all the apartment doors. And then after he got out of the hallway and went to leave, all the doors opened and people went and gave the mail to the correct doors because he misdelivered them all. That was a
Uh,
genius character. I just love that. We'll do a couple more of these, Ed. I kind of this is fun for me. Push the envelope. I think that's something that you do, and I think a lot of
I,
baby boomers did because we want to succeed and we work long hours and all that. Pushing the envelope. What do you think?
pushing the envelope is just like going for it, like not being average. Let's try this one more time and go a little faster or do it a little better. Don't settle for average. Let's push the envelope.
That's really good. To push it as far as you can go in order to discover what the limits are. The origin was flight engineering, the boundary or limit of performance of a flight object. Okay,
Hey,
I
I've
didn't.
got one for you,
Yeah,
Rick.
yeah.
What does that mean when somebody says the whole 9 yards?
This isn't on here, but I do know that one.
Oh, well, you're no fun. You could fake it that you didn't and say, "Gee,
Okay,
Ed,
okay.
I don't have a clue. You tell me."
All I'm going to do, Ed, is I'm going to let you answer it. I'm just going to say I think it has something to do with an airplane
It does.
and a gun.
Yeah, yeah. The ammunition belt in a lot of the airplanes in WW2 were 9 yards long, and they were in the wings. And when the guys would come back from a mission, somebody would say, "How'd it go out there?" He says, "I went the whole 9 yards." That means he was out of ammo, right?
That, yep, yeah. Well,
Can't pull
good.
one on Rick Reed. He knows everything.
Well, some people, they never call me smart. They'll call me a smart ass, but never smart. But again, that's the thing about when you live life long enough, you start to learn things and acquire things, and that's an example there. I thought these were fun just because you may know what it means, but knowing where it started from, what the origin was, that's interesting to me. I've always liked wordplay and things like that too. Malaprops. You familiar with malaprops?
I am not.
People
Never
are.
heard that before.
Well, Cliff
Oh,
Clavin used some of those. Basically, is you use a word that sounds like the intended word that you should have used. Like, Ed Halbach was so good with his performance that they all gave him a standing ovulation.
Ah,
That's a malaprop.
okay.
Or, or he has the hands of a sturgeon. That's a malaprop.
You know, in another conversation, remember how we said we used to have to take the needle and on the LPs and put it between the songs to hear that song? And
Yeah.
now at our age, it's a little more challenging to hold the needle that steady. Yeah. Well, and that came to the forefront of my gray matter only because you talked about a Spurgeon, and it's like, oh yeah, surgeon. Ooh, I wouldn't want myself, working on me.
Sound effects are fun. What you're talking about, if we were trying to put a needle on a record, it would go something like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
All right. All right. You got me to pull up a sound effect.
I was
Um,
waiting.
everybody, I want you to check out Ed's show, the Ed Hallback Show,
Thank
and
you.
you can get there by going online to edhallback.com. And I know you're on Spotify, you're on Buzzsprout,
Apple,
right? Apple.
Apple, Buzzsprout, Stritchery, and I can't remember the rest.
Yeah, just
I think I'm
Google it.
8 of them.
You'll find Ed. He's everywhere. All things Ed, Ed Hallback. Thanks for being on the show, and I hope you'll come back. It was fun talking with you today and having my boomer buddies get to know you a little bit better. And if you want to comment on anything that we said today or want to add to it or give content idea, please email me at my boomer buddies and then the number 4, my boomer buddies 4 at gmail.com. Love to hear from you. And also check out Ed. You can email him too to get on his list. Go ahead, Ed.
Ed at edhalbach.com, EDHALBACH.com.
Ed, thanks for being my friend, and have a wonderful time with your podcast. And I'll be listening every Monday.
Well, thanks, Rick. I appreciate the opportunity here not to only plug my show, but to interact with you as we've become pretty good friends since September. And thank you again for buying coffee last time I was in your neighborhood. I will probably be there again in the next 2 weeks, so save your pennies because I'll let you buy again.
Thank you, everyone, for listening in and watching. Check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Google, Buzzsprout, and other platforms. Again, for my Boomer Buddies podcast, I'm Rick Reed. We'll see you around the block.